Are you looking forward to building a beautiful report and dashboard in Power BI? Welcome to my Power BI course. In this particular course, you're going to look at how to create this particular beautiful dashboard we have right here from the scratch. As you can see, every single circle right here represents a particular report or a dashboard inside this particular project. So when I click on this particular transaction right now, it's going to take us to the page that is kind of dedicated for transactions. Now here we are on the transaction page. If you want to go back or you want to kind of visit another page, what you can do, you can see this particular one right here. Just click on it and you're going to have this one opened up, and you have different pages that you can actually navigate to right from here. Let's say we want to see like the location. Once you click on it, it's going to take you straight up to location. This is what you're going to have, and you can actually play around with this right here to get more view of your location and stuff like that. So we're gonna follow the best practice to have this kind of created like this right here. We have the rows to create a very clean dashboard using Power BI or any other tools of your choice. It's not some kind of restricted to Power BI alone, but all tools. So right now we're gonna leave the Power BI service to Power BI, on desktop, and have this kind of created from the scratch. So every single thing we've seen is what we have right here at top. What about the templates? Where do we have it created? We're going to be creating our template in PowerPoint. PowerPoint will help us to create an amazing template just to actually, have a good, clean dashboard. So we have different templates right here, which we're going to go through to create from the scratch. So if you're ready, all you have to do is to follow me step by step and let us have this created. All right. Here is the development area, which is the Power BI desktop. So what we need to do right now is to go grab the data we're going to use for this, and we have to quickly insert a new PBRX by clicking on new, and automatically it's going to insert new PBI explorers. Okay, here we are. The next thing is for you to get data, and you have to understand what kind of data you really want to get, like the extension or the file types. So let us just go ahead and check it out. I'm going to come right here. As you can see, we have these highlighted files to be those that we're going to kind of imported inside Power BI. So now we have different dimensions, and we have our fact table that hosts the majority of our transactional data right here. So you have to understand this. So we have it on Excel format, not on CSV or text files. So now that we've understood what kind of format we're going to be dealing with, let's get back to where we want to get it right in. So we're back right here, and now I'm just going to go to my get data right here. So now we are not really sure if the data is cleaned and all of that. So I always do that to every single data import inside Power BI. I first of all take it to Power Query, which is the engine available for you to clean and transform your data. So right now I'm going to click right here and navigate to my system where I have the data right in, and bring it up and open it in Power Query. All right, now here we go. I just got it navigated, and here we have it. So right now, if you have your own data downloaded, please navigate to where you have it right in your system. You're going to have something like this. So we have to some kind of, take them in one after the other. So first of all, I'm going to be dealing with my fact table. Let's just click on that and click on open, and let's see what we're going to have. So as you can see, we have those two sheets right here. We have sales and we have sales order sheets. So they have the same data. We need just one of them. But when we actually click and some kind of, click on either of them, nothing happens right here. This is where the magic should happen. So we want to have this particular load and transform data, active. They're not really active right now. For you to make sure they're active, go back right here and make sure you check this and go all the way back right here. Now it's active. Let me tell you, in case you don't know what is going on right here, what this stands for. So this actually stands for load, and when you click on it, it's going to load some kind of straight up to Power BI environments, while this one that is called transform data will take it to Power Query, and that is where you're going to have it clean. So let's click on that and see what's going to happen. Alright, welcome to the Power Query environment where you can have your data transformed and cleaned for you before you can actually take it to Power BI. So what we need to do right now is to check the column quality. Before we do that, we want to change this one to fact table. So I'm just going to come right here. You can just control it, some kind of have it highlighted and just type in here fact table. So hit your enter key. And there you go, you have it. So now we might have like millions of rows of data right here, which we cannot really tell what is going on beneath it, where we cannot see, all that. So right now, as you can see, we only see a few of the data, right? So we can't keep scrolling through to know what is going on, if it is healthy or whatsoever. So with that, click on view, and from view, you can click on column quality. And there you go. Now you can scroll through to every single columns we have right here to see what is going on in either of the columns, right? As you can see, we have them to be some kind of healthy. How do you know if a column is healthy or whatsoever? Now you check the valid, error, and empty. So if you see error to be 0% and empty to be 0% and you have your valid to be 100%, which means that column is really okay. But if something is wrong, you might either see it on error or on empty. That is if something is not actually sitting on a particular cell inside a row, right? Now we can kind of scroll through again to see what we have. So 100% correct. Nothing happens to either of the columns. The next thing we're going to do right now is to see the data type if they are really cool, right? Okay, in case you're not some kind of very good with data types whatsoever, but you have to learn it. The next way to go about it is to come right to transform. Right on transform, all I always do is make sure I just Ctrl A to highlight every single columns I have inside this table and go to dictate data type and just click on that. It's going to help you to fix any data type that is not actually correct. So what about this? That is nice, right? So we've just done this. So for the column quality, nice for that. So we have to bring in the next, our table we are going to use. So do we have to go to Power BI again? I guess no. I'm going to click on home. And right now I'm going to go to recent source and let's see what's going to happen. So we have those sources we've used previously before now, but no, I'm going to go for new source and I'm going to go for Excel workbook again. Let's see what it is. So here we are. So we've just gotten this right in there. Let's see how we can take our dimensional table, which is customer table right there by double clicking on it. So we're going to have it right, here for us. Okay, just give it some time. So now there you go. I'm going to just select it. I'm going to push it into, Power Query. And I want to do that to every part of it. You don't have to some kind of waste time. All you just have to do is to check the quality. It's going to actually show you the quality right here. Once you're satiated with it, now go ahead and bring other columns. Now we have 100% of it. So nothing is going on, is okay. And the data type is really cool. So all that. So just go right here and click on it. Click on this again. And now you go for the product, double click on it, and you're going to have it right here, just like every other part of it. So now we've brought every single tables we are going to need to some kind of create this analysis right in here. But all we have to do right now is to check the headers and the column quality and all of that. So right now this one is cool. So we have it on the regions. This is some kind of a little bit weird. Can you spot what is going on right here right now? Yeah, I'm going to turn off the column quality, go to view and column quality right here. I'm going to turn it off. Now, if you look at it, the header is not really cool because we have column 1, 2, and 3, while we have the main header sitting on on the first row, right? So how do we solve this problem? It's very simple and easy. Don't be panic. Go down to home and we're going to have to go to right. There is place right here where we have transformation and we have use first row as headers. So now look at the magic. If I click on it, what's going to happen? So it takes the top one off and actually represent that with the first one, which is the one that's some kind of sat right here previously before. Now we have our header correct. Now, one thing I love about Power BI is that every single time you some kind of make any changes, transformation, whatsoever it is, is some kind of record that particular, stop you have just inserted for you. So you can time travel. Let's do that and see. Now, if we want to know where we left to this particular part right here, right now, we click on this and we have promoted headers, right? And if I go right here to go to this particular part right here, now let's see what we're going to have. So we have the right one that we imported right in column 1 to 3, and from there we promoted the header, and it gives us this, and it gives us in that step where we can actually right click and rename if we want to do that. So change header. So header. Now the reason why I always love to do this specifically sometime was because if somebody wants to inherit my work, the person should know what I've done at the back end should something needs to be fixed. So now we've gotten all of them ready. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is that this is my fact table and those are my dimensional table, and I want to come right here and type in dim. All right, sorry. Dim for dimension underscore. I'm going to hit my enter key, and that's going to reflect right here to some kind of make my dimensional table to become some kind of style stand out. So dim underscore, I'm going to hit my enter key, and I want to do the same thing to this as well. And the last but not least is this one right here. So we want to do the same thing to it. So there we go, we have them all. So what do we need to do next again is for which some kind of take this down to our Power BI service. So we are actually done from here. So let me show you what is going on right here before we go, in case you're just starting out and you don't know what is going on. I don't want to jump any stuff, but if you feel like your code, this can just next hit to go to the one you feel like you want to see. Okay, now we have close and apply. When we just click on this without opening this particular one right here, so what is going to happen is that it's going to close this particular window we have right here and take us to the next window, which is the Power BI environment, and give us every single changes with some kind of applied on this particular one right here and show every single thing right there. Now, if I go ahead and just open the drop down, we have close and apply, which is still, if you click outside of it without having it opened, while the apply alone right here means that you've already some kind of close and apply before, and we have it reflected in Power BI. And what we want to do is just to apply the changes we've made. Okay, what happens to the close? When we just click on close right now, it's going to close this window without some kind of applying it to Power BI environments. What happens then? It stores the data inside Power Query without taking it to Power BI. Is that really cool? I guess no. So what are we going to use? We have to use close and apply. And that is what I've just clicked on right now. So now it's coming into Power BI environment. So look at this field right here. Nothing is on it. So for that is some kind of compressed. So once we have our table, can you see what I'm talking about? So the tables are coming in, and we're going to have the tables right here, right now. As you can see, it's loading gradually. It depends on the speed of your computer. So if the speed is very high, before you know, it's done. Okay, here we go. We have just gotten every single tables right here, just like what we've some kind of done in Power BI in Power Query. So right now, if we go right to this particular part right now, here is the table view. We're gonna see every single tables just like what we've seen previously in Power Query and all of that. So now let's see. So we have this, and we have to go to the fact table. You see huge columns, right? Okay, right now let us check. Automatically we should have the relationship done for us, right? Click on the relationship aspect right here, and now we have our Power BI to dictate that yes, we have some IDs that could actually be used to connect our tables so that we can have flow of data when with some kind of filter and stuff like that, all that. So this is actually going to be a different topic, but I'm going to show you something right now. So let's go back to Power Query. So if you want to go back to Power Query, click on transformation. Under home, click on transform data, and it's going to quickly open the Power Query environment for us. And let's see that. Now I just want everybody to get it right. So can you see what we have right here right now? We have ordered numbers, right? This order number is just ID for our product. So if I come right here right now, we're gonna have another ID, like dim ID, we have customer ID, right? So I'm going to go back to my fact table. We're going to have the same customer ID right here. I'm going to scroll down to this end. Okay, what could we have that? So now we have the customer ID right here. We have our store ID. We have our sales rep ID. Can you see those IDs we have right in here? So if you trace it back to customer right here, you're going to see the same ID on the product area, the same ID on the region area, and the same ID on the sales team area. So that is how we just kind of got to be able to have these connections right in here. So you must have an ID, and what we have right now is called one-to-many relationship, right? Which means on this particular product table, we have one ID existing for the product. So we have one single product existing right here and one ID for that particular product. And right here on the fact table where we record our sales, what we have right here is many of these sales. One product can be purchased like 1,000 to even million times right here, and this particular star or asterisk you have right now some kind of means many, while this one means one, which means one ID from here can appear so many times right here. That is a simple explanation I can actually make to let you understand what this really means. But in detail, we can actually cover something that has to do with star scheming or whatever it is. So now you just have learned the elementary aspect of what you should know about star scheming in Power BI. Let's get back right here. Now, here is the visual area where we create our report or a dashboard right in and actually make decision for the end users. So what is next for us? Now that we've gotten our data right here, it is time to import our template. But do we really have any template yet? I guess no. So what do? We have to start with the creation of the template. I'm going to show you how to do everything from A to Z. If you're ready, I'm always ready. Let's keep going. Let's start up with a template right now before we start to going deep into the analysis. If you look at what we have on the Power BI desktop where the development is going to happen, we have something with an animation which we're going to be taking care of in the later videos. Okay, now going back right to PowerPoint. If you don't have PowerPoint, please go ahead and have it installed and open it up, and let's get started. All right, we want to create something like this to help us hold the relevant KPI that we can actually click on and get to another part of our report or our dashboard. So going back right here, all we have to do right now is to do Ctrl-N to help us insert new blank one that we're going to get started with. I'm going to get this off. So remember, we just did Ctrl-N. So if your Ctrl-N doesn't work, what you can do is to go to the top ribbon and click on File. And from File, you can see either New or you go with the blank presentation right here. So I'm going to go back and now we have this. So we're going to be using the same height and the same weight. Do not touch it. All right, the next thing we are going to do right now is to change the background color. So I'm going to right click and go to where we have format background. I'm going to click on that and quickly I want to come right here. Let me have it moved here. And now let's see what we're doing properly. Now, clicking on this particular part where we have color, we can select from those colors we have right here, but I'm not too cool with what we have right here. I'm just going to go to these small colors and now let's see what it is. So just click on custom and you can select from here, but I already have my own colors. So I'm just going to have the color code pasted right in here. As you can see, we have #01163C. That is what you can type in. If I go ahead and step off right now, those particular red, green, blue, which is the RGB, will change. So what does this some kind of signifies right now is that if you don't have the hex code, what you can do is to type in those particular codes you see right here on the version of your kind of PowerPoint, and you're gonna have the same color as I do. Okay, now I'm gonna click on this OK right here. Let's see what we have. This is the color we've just gotten from that code. All right, next is to go to the top level right here, that is on the ribbon, and I'm going to click on the circle. I'm going to bring this circle right here. I'm going to just drag it down. Now watch what I'm going to do. I want us to be on the same page. For you to get the same thing I've gotten, I'm just going to use the dimension, like the height and the weight, and wherever the same thing. So we can go to the ribbon and click on this particular shape format. Let's come right here. So we want to do this 10.44 by 10.73 by 10.73. Here we go. So we're gonna have something as large as this, but it looks kind of like, what the heck are you gonna do with this? Don't worry, do not shrink it again. I'm gonna have to take it up a bit. Just want to do something like this. I want to make sure it's kind of centralized in the middle of it. So next is for we to some kind of right click and go to where we have the format shape right in, and quickly we just have to make sure we do not have fill on it. So I'm gonna say no fill, and this is what we have. We just have the line, right? You just have to open the line up and scroll down a little bit. This is where we have to do the magic. So we don't want to use a solid line, instead we want to use the gradient fill. Click on it, and I'm going to take off 2 stops from those 4 stops we have right here. Clicking on this particular removed gradient stop right now, we're going to take off 2 stops, and now we are left with 2, right? Okay, we have to change the color of this one right here. I'm going to move it to the extreme end and come right here and have it open. I don't have the color I'm looking for right on this particular part. You know what it is? Just click and make sure you change this particular hex code right here. So I'm going to have this one right, and just go ahead and type the same thing. Now if I step out right now, what I'm going to have like is this. So type in those codes if you don't have the hex code on your own version. And I'm going to go right and click on OK. Now this is one side of the color, right? So don't worry, the next one is going to be this one. Let us have the color changed as well. Just make sure you some kind of click down, come right here and go to more colors, and quickly I want to do the same thing just like what I've done before. Yeah, go ahead and type the same thing. Can you see that what it is right now? So if I click on OK, this is what I have. So now remember, you are not some kind of restricted to those colors I'm using, so but you can follow the same thing I've done right here in order to create your own side of the story. From here you can branch out to create something amazing yourself that is even more than what I've done, but you have to get the knowledge from what I'm doing right now. Okay, now we can see this particular part right here where we have direction. This is how we want it to go. So if you see it right now, it changes the direction of this particular, pink, right? And if we go right here, you can choose how you want direction to go. I think I have some kind of go with this. I prefer this, right? I'm gonna close it right now. This is what I have for the first time, right? So next is for we to actually, have a little shadow, right light, some kind of light shadow around it. Yep. Just right click again, and we go down to shape, and this time around we are leaving here to this particular effect and go to shadow, and you can go ahead and click on this particular part right here, and we're going to use this one with offset center. So we have something like this, right? And we can change from black, we want to change it to white. This is what we have. So let us see how we can some kind of play around with what we have right here right now. We want to leave the transparency to be 0%. We drag it to 0%, and we want to put the size on 101. So here we go, we have 101. This is 101, and we want to come to the blur. The blur should be 45. So the blur should be 45. As you can see, this is what we have for the blur, and we want to take the angle to be 90 degrees. That is what it is. So 90 degrees for the angle, and the distance should be 3 points. Right here we go, we have 3, and this is what it is. Can you see right now? So we are having something amazing, compared to what we've had as flat before now, right? All right, let us have this one duplicated. So Ctrl D will help us to duplicate this one. I'm going to drag it up a little bit. Now we have to change the height and the weight of this. I want to go to the top level right here, click on this particular shape format, right? So we're going to come right here and have it changed. So quickly we have to change this one, and I want to do it by 9.02, 9.02. So here we go. We have something like this. Okay, I just have to make sure I take this off now, and like this one now, I'm gonna have to make sure it sits right here, just step down a bit. Okay, now we just have to bring it down a little bit. And what is going to happen is this: we want to take off the the shadow we have around this. We want to take it off. What do? Just go back here, and we have to come right here and click on none. So we're going to have something like this, right? So we just have to Ctrl D again to duplicate it, and I have to make sure I take it right here. And now let's see what it is. So we're going to right click. I'm going to go to Smart Shape. Before this, so now let us actually change the size of this. I'm going to go to the top left right here from Shape Format. So we have to come right here. So we go down on the next one. We want to make it 3.17 or 3.17. So this is what we have. So we have something here just this. We have to make sure we centralize it here, right in the center of it. So now that we've actually gotten this right here, it's time for we to change the color of this. And how do we go about it? So we have to quickly go to Shape Format, and we have this. And now we just have to go to the line, and we use the gradient line or gradient fill, right? So we have to go all the way down and take this top off, take this to this way, and we have the previous one here. I can go with this, and I can go ahead and click on this. I can go with this one as well. So we want to use something like this. I can make it a little bit thicker if I want to do that. So just step down a bit, and we're gonna find where we have the weight right in. So this is the weight. We can make it a bit thicker, or we can reduce it, head out of it. So I'm gonna use 1.25, right? Okay, after I might have done with that, the next thing to do is just to go right here and make sure we use a solid fill, and we're gonna give it white. All right, we're not done yet. What about the shadow? We want to have some shadow for it, right? So come right here, and this is where we have to play around with the shadow. And we just have to go with the same offset center. We click on this, and we have this. Now we don't really have white background for the shadow. We have to change it. Come to color and actually pick white. But does it look some kind of really okay? So which means we have to touch transparency, size, blur, angle, and distance. Now for transparency, we want to put it on 0, just like usual, on 0, and we want to put this one on just 100. So we have to make it 100, and we want to go for the size. We want to have we just have size. 100 for the size, and now we need to actually set the blur to 40, right? To 40 instead of 5. We want to use 40. So 40, and we just want to change the angle to 90 degrees, just like what we've done previously before now. And we want to put this distance to just 3, right? So this is what we have. We want to make it some kind of glow, so now it glows inside like sunshine, right? All right, so we can decide to hold this and do your control, hold this down, and hold this. And just make sure you step it down a little bit. So we're gonna have something like this, right? Okay, this is cool. So now we have to some kind of duplicate this for now. I'm gonna take this right here. So we have to change the size and resize it. Let's go to the ribbon, and from there we go to Shape Format, and we want to change it right from here. So we're gonna do 1.22 for the for the weight. So it's gonna be 1.22. So here we have something like this. So we're gonna be kneading this one into 5. So now it is time for you to make sure it sits rightly at the right place. But this particular shadow we have around it is a little bit too much, so we have to make sure we tweak it a little and make it cool. So I think we should go with 95, I presume. Let's do that. So right here. Oh, sorry, I have to remove it from here. Just make sure you take it off and take it back right here, so we can have something like full screen. I'm gonna click right here again. I'm gonna have to just make sure I give a little bit reduction. I think we have 91 to be very cool. I'm gonna take this off now. I'm gonna Ctrl D to double this. I have to make sure I take this right here until I have something I really like, and I'm gonna leave it this way. I just want to double this and bring it all the way right here. So we have to bring one here, and we have to make sure we bring one right here, and the last one is gonna be right here. We need 5 of them, right? So we just have to make sure we do some kind of good work right here. Okay, so just make sure you spend some time to some kind of, arrange this to look very cool with what you're doing. So you can't just get it all at once. You have to spend some time to touch it on you until you have the desired results you're looking for. Now, this is what we've just gotten. Let us go to the finished one and see what we have right here. We go. So this is what it is that we have right here. So we have those, little circles right in between this one and this one right here. So how do we get this? It's very simple and easy. I just want to show you how to get them from A to Z. I want to go back, right? Come here. I'm going to just click on this and double it. And this time around, I can right click and I'm going to go right to this format area. And now I'm going to change the color, this one to be the inner one. I want to come right to this particular outer part of it. So just go ahead and take off the shadow. We don't want it. Make sure you say none or no shadow. We have something like this. Now for the line, we have to make sure we have this closed now. Go right here and we just have to go to the line, solid line. No gradient line right now. We just can go ahead and choose something like this. It's too bright. We want to go ahead and choose something darker for it, and we can resize this. I'm going to hold my shift key to have the perfect circle when I resize. So shift key, now just drag your mouse a little bit. I'm going to have something as small as this, and what am I going to do? I just have to increase the weight of what? Increase the weight of the line. Can you see it right now? So we can just make sure we bring it to where we want to have it right in. What about this? So this is cool, but I want something darker for the, for the line. I want to go right down here. I'm going to pick this, and this is what I have. So I'm going to just go ahead and duplicate it. I'm going to pick this one and have it right at this spot. Yep. Okay. Get it again. We have to move it back right here. This time around, we have to make a little change again. So the changes we are making is the inner color. So just go and drop this down. And now we have to go for the inner color. We have to change it to white. This is what we have. I can just bring this down, and I'm going to have it right here. I want to just go away with this one. So I can hold my control, and you see this plus sign, you just drag it and have it to the next part of it. So that can work. If you don't want to use Ctrl D, this will definitely, work perfectly. So you can make sure it sits tight right at the, spot you want to have it right in. Can you see what we have right now? It is beautiful. All right, we've just gotten this level some kind of achieved. This is nice. So we have some, aspect of it that looks like a web. So we have to get that. If you get me right, I'm talking about those lines we have in between them that make it look a little bit good. So we want to have something like this. How do we go about it? Let's get on it. Go back right here. And here we go. This part is one of the easiest part of it. So just go to the ribbon, and you're going to see this particular line right here. If you don't have it, go to insert, and from insert, what you're gonna see is this particular shapes, and from shapes you're gonna see all those shapes you have right here. And what you're interested to use is the lines. Click on the line, and once you actually hover over any of the circle or any of the shape right here, you're gonna see some kind of under round little circle around them. So you just have to pay attention. Right now we want to start this from here, and what you need to do is to double click and hold it and drag it. You can see this can actually move as you rotate it, rotates with you, and it gets stuck to this particular little circle we have right here. And once you drag it to any of the circle right now, and that little circle gets appeared. So now this is what it is. So make sure you release it on this one. Can you pay good attention right now? We've just done that. So if we step off it, so if I try to move it right now, it's going to move away Can you see it right now? Ctrl Z to bring it back. But if I try to move this now, it's glued with this particular one. Can you see it? And no matter how I drag it to any other place, it keeps on some kind of getting itself glued to it. This is what it is. Ctrl Z to have it back right here. Can you see what we've done right now? Okay, next thing I'm gonna go back again and pick it up right here. This is what it is. So make sure you locate this one. I'm gonna have to drag it. Once you see this, just make sure you stop it and have it, go out in it again. And here we go. We have the third one. We're gonna have something just like this. Can you see how it looks? Don't worry about the color right now. We're gonna have to make sure we change the way the color looks in the jiffy. Okay, now go to the next one again. Pick the same thing up. And I'm gonna come right here and start from this. I'm gonna drag it down to this one. I'm gonna let it go. Here we go. Go back right, pick this one up. I'm gonna click right here. I'm gonna let it go right. Go back right on this again, pick it up. And here we go. I'm gonna just have to make sure it goes this way. Can you see? Can you see what we've done? Once you try as much as you could to move it from here, it goes with it. No matter how you go, it goes with it. So Ctrl Z to bring it back, and we have something like this. This is beautiful, right? Okay, next is for we to connect the one at the bottom area. So just go ahead and bring the same thing. And once we have it right here, we just have to make sure, okay, Ctrl Z, we did the wrong thing. Go back and pick it up again. And click on this. And once we see this one appears, release it. And we want to go back again and pick it up. And we have to make sure you take it from here. And we have it connected to this. Just go as many times as you like until you are done with it. So just go ahead and bring it up, and here we have another perfect connection, right? It might look a bit like, what are you doing? But once we're done with this, you'll see how good it looks. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring this up again. Now I have to some kind of get this and drag it down. This is what I have. I'm gonna have it right here. So go back on it and pick this one up, and this time around when I get this, I'm gonna have it right here. Go back on it again. I'm gonna pick this one up, and here we go. We have this. I'm gonna have this right here. Can you see what it is? So we have to do this for this, do the same thing for this part right here as well. I'm gonna just go ahead and have it right here. And if you pay attention to what I'm doing, you can replicate this on your own personal project. Right, here we go. And we go with this, and we're gonna go ahead and connect it to this. So we are done with the inner part. So we have some other one that actually, goes around here. This is what we are supposed to be doing right now. So remember, when you work, do save your work. So it was because it's a demonstration. I've not some kind of concerned myself about saving, but don't forget to save. You know what it is. Ctrl S will help you save it. Just Ctrl S like this. It depends on the version of your application. So you can just type in what you want to save it with and go right here and choose where you want to have it, save it right in, and click on save. So now I go back. So if you look at this part right now, it goes this way and it touches this one, goes down, and touches this one right here, and we have the two right on this one. So how do we achieve this? First of all, let us achieve the one we have right here before we definitely go into the next one. So I'm gonna go right here. So we just have to go back and pick the same thing, and I'm gonna come right here. I'm gonna pick this up, and here we go. We have it connected to this one, and we go back again and pick it up. And we go ahead and get this one connected to this, and this is awesome, right? So we've just gotten that one achieved. So let's see what we can do on this particular path. So go back to the ribbon and pick the line, and this time around I want to pick the line and drag it until I see this. I'm gonna release it right here. So we want to go back and pick the line again, and we just have to make sure we drag it from here down to here, right? So let us have it right here. And next is for you to connect this one to this one right here. So go back to the ribbon area, pick this up, and once we pick it up, we're gonna see this one. I'm gonna have to make sure I drag it and have it connected to this one. Can you see what I'm doing? This is awesome. as soon as we are done, we would have no difference with the previous one we've created. I'm gonna come right here. Now we just have to make sure we pick this from here and drag it and have it right on this part. Can you see it right now? So let's go back to the ribbon and go ahead and pick this line up again. And this time around, I want to just make sure it touches right here. And we go ahead and pick the line again. And we want to take it up from here. And we want to have to make sure it connects to this part right here. This is beautiful. Let's find out. If we make any mistake, we can just always make amend. I want to go back to the previous one. Here we go. Now exactly what we have. So what is next is for we to some kind of make it a little bit dimmer inside the background so that it will look very beautiful. Now it pops up too much, so we have to make sure we touch that, and it's gonna look very okay when we take it to Power BI environment. Let's do that. Now we have to select the entire lines we've drawn, but how do we do that? Do we have to do it individually by clicking on this and this and this? It's gonna be some kind of time consuming, but what can we do? It's very simple and easy. I'm gonna do Control. Just make sure you select any of the object. Go Control A. It has everything highlighted for you or selected for you. So what you can do right now is to hit your Control key, just hold it down and select anyone you don't want to be part of it. So I'm going to first of all deselect this circle. Right now it's gone. I'm going to take this one off again. Can you see what I'm doing? So all the circle are some kind of out of it. So now this particular white circle is going to be out of it as well. Click on it and select it. Click on this one, click on this one, click on this one, and have this one clicked on. Now we have those little ones right here. Just go ahead and select them and have this one selected and have this one selected. So what we have left right now, you can release your Control key. Now it's just the lines we've drawn. Can you see how beautiful it is? So what can we do? We have to start some kind of get it formatted. Let's do that. So what you can do right now is to right click and go to format object, and you have to bring this up. And we just have to go to the line, and here we are on the line. Please do not go to where we have the field color because it's not going to be active. So we go to the line, and now we have to go to where we have the gradient fill, and now we just need 3 stops. So the 3 stops we need, one will be here and one will be in the middle of it right here, right? Now we have to quickly change this one. I'm gonna step it down a little bit. So now when we click on this particular first stops right here, what we can do is just to make sure we change the color to something like this white right here. So quickly we have to make changes right on this part. So we want to put this on some kind of 90. Put it on 90, and the next one is going to be our brightness. The brightness is going to be 95, so it's going to be 95, not minus 90, minus 5. So now it's 95, right? So this is what it is, and this one here is okay. The weight is okay. Now we have to touch this. I'm going to go right here. I want to select the previous color we've used. So I'm going to select it, and now we have to make sure we do something about this as well. So what can we do about this? We have to put this one on 60. That is, the transparency is going to be on 60. That is good. And the next one is going to be our brightness. So the brightness is going to be on 0, the way it is right now, and this one will be the way it is. So we just have to leave it this way. Okay, the position, what if we change the position to 54? Right, that is okay. Now as you can see, we're having some little changes right on it. Okay, next is this particular one. Just go ahead and select it, and we want to come right to this particular transparency aspect of it. So the transparency is going to be on 100. Can you see it? We put the transparency on 100 and we leave the brightness at 70 in this way. So if I step off right now, this is how it looks. Now let us go to the previous one and compare it to this one right here. I'm gonna go right here and click on this. Can you see what we have right on this part? This is what it is. So we've achieved this. and it's very cool. If I go back now, I'm gonna come right here, I'm gonna click on this. I want to select it, so now we've left it. I'm gonna have to make sure I right click and say bring to front. Here we bring it to front, and we want to do that. I think it's okay. So the reason why we did bring to front is that we want this particular shadow we have around it to cover this a little bit, and think it's cool. So right now we've achieved what we really want to achieve right now. Okay, what we can have to like add up again is this particular small arrow right here to point at this circle that okay, something is right here. Please go ahead and click it. It's optional if you want to have it right on it, and it's very simple. All you have to do is just to go back, and here we go. Nicely, you just come right here, and you want to come and pick this one and just drag it down a little bit, and some kind of go ahead and change the color to it. I want to go with this color. It's too bright, and we go with this kind of color and some kind of make it a bit smaller, just like this, and we can have it around and just have it to point at where you want to have it point at, and just bring this one up again. You can have it right here. If you think it's some kind of bright, what you can do is some kind of click on it, and I want to turn up the line and just have to make sure here we go ahead and make the transparency to be some kind of something like this, and now we can just duplicate it and have it right here, have it duplicated, and some kind of take it to where you want to have it right in and all of that. So don't forget that you can actually make sure you do the rotation and how you want to do it. Just like if you want it this way, you can have the rotation just like this, and you can take it where you want to take it right to just like this. Would be very cool for you. I just want to show you an example of what I've done to achieve that, and that is exactly what it is. So now what is next? You always know what is next when we have something like this created in PowerPoint, is for which is some kind of export the template art for usage, right? So as for the completion, we are very glad that we've done something like this. If you want to have this exported, it's very simple and easy. What do? Just go to file, and from file, what do you want to do? We have to click on export right here. As you can see, we have the export. Click on export, and you're gonna have something like this, right? I always say it depends on the version of PowerPoint that you're using. I'm using PowerPoint 2019. If you're using something lower than this, you might have something a little bit different from what I have, but nevertheless, you are still going to achieve the same thing achieved right here, even though if you have PowerPoint 365. So we're still gonna have the same result. All you have to do is to try to navigate to where you have your own commands and use it. So right now we have to, if you want some kind of export it as PDF, we can just click on this one, but right now we want to export it either as PNG, JPEG, or GIF. So GIF is not right here. How do we get that? Just double click on save another file type. Double click on it, and here you go. You have it right here. So we want to save it as another file type. So we just click on this particular part right here, and I want to choose this particular GIF, and this is what it is. So because we've not had any GIF as a version of it before now, it's nothing is showing up right here. So if I go ahead and choose like a PNG, let's see that we don't have it. If I go ahead and choose JPEG, now we have most of those ones we've saved previously as JPEG, which means you have three options to choose from: JPEG or JPG, PNG or GIF. So which one do you want to use? Either of it is cool. So now the next thing you have to do is to make sure you change the file name to something you can remember, right? So we can just choose like our home page, just like what we have right here before. So we can choose home page 2 and stuff like that. And once we are done with this, what next is for which is some kind of click on OK right here. And this is what it always gives you when you try to some kind of export something out of PowerPoint, because we are dealing with slides. So it says all slides. That means maybe you might have like 30 to 40 slides right here, and PowerPoint is actually thinking, do you want to really export all of them out? If yes, you have to click on all, but if no, you can just click on just one, which means this one highlighted will be the one that is going to be some kind of exported out of PowerPoint for you. that is exactly what it is. So because we've some kind of exported this before, we might still want to choose to actually still export it. Click on OK, and we have the work done for us. Ask me what is next. I think we have to go to PowerPoint and have it some kind of imported and see what we have. So let's go on it. Welcome back to the Power BI environment. So now we have to bring in the template we've created with PowerPoint. So what you can do now is just to come right here. You're going to see where we have this particular format, your report page. So please, if you've not some kind of updated your Power BI, you just have to do that for it to be on the same page as we do this. I'm going to click on this part right here, and now you can see where we have canvas background. So do not use the wallpaper. It's not going to work the way you expected it to work. So it is best for you to some kind of use this particular canvas background. I'm going to go ahead and click it up, and this is what we're going to have, right? So now you might have it your own on some kind of 100% transparency. And now if that is the case, you go right here and you just open this browse up. It's going to take you to where you have your templates, right? All right, this is the one we've just created, and this is the previous one I have, right? So I'm just going to go on this one and double click on it, and we have it right here. But it's not showing up. What is the problem? So we just have to make sure we remove this transparency and bring it all the way down. So if I reduce it a little bit right now, we're going to have something like this, which is not really cool. So what we need to do is to put it on 0% like this, right? This is better. Now we have this particular part right here where it says, fit image, like image fit, right? So if you go right and open this place up, you're gonna find fit and fill. So either of them will be very cool, but in this particular kind of our own situation, I'm gonna use the fit right in. It adjusts a little bit. You might not see the adjustment, but it's okay. Okay, after that, let me show you what is going on right here. Now, if I go to the previous one, we find this little, circle around it that is kind of giving us, animation. How do we get this? I'm going to take you to a website where you can have this downloaded. All right, here we go. Come here right here, and I'm going to open up a site called flaticon.com. So go ahead and make a search. So once you actually get to flaticon.com, you are going to find this. So what you need to do on this particular part right here, you might find your own not to be on animated icons, so you can change what you want to see right here. If yours is actually on icons, just like this, so what you can do is to click right here and actually change it to animation. So on this icon, it's a flat icon that cannot change its size, animate for you. So I'm gonna go right here and just click on animated icons. So once I've done that, what I can do is just to make a search of the kind of icons I want from here. If I just type in circle right now, I'm gonna actually hit my enter key. I'm gonna have something like this. Can you see what I have right now? If I click on this, let's see what we have. So we're gonna have this page that pops out for us, and you see the animation already is actually doing the magic for us. So I'm gonna click right this particular download and get it downloaded to my system. Do you have to some kind of like sign up? I can't remember that, but just go to this site and try to see if you need to sign up or whatsoever and see what it is. I'm going to actually be leaving the link for you to kind of click on and go right there straight up. Okay, now click on it and have it downloaded, and let's get back to our work. All right, here we are. So we have to go get the animation, but how do we get it right here once we have it downloaded? It's a little bit tricky, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So if you have already downloaded it, so what you can do to bring it in is like you might be on home. All you have to do is to go to where you have this particular insert right in, click on insert and go right here and look at this particular elements aspect here and click on buttons. So once you click on buttons, you're gonna have this right here called blank. So don't take either of those ones right here. Go ahead and click on blank. So once you click on blank, you're gonna have it inserted for you as little as this. So I'm gonna pick it up from here. I'm gonna have it right here, and this time around, I just want to make sure I size it to this level. I can resize it later, but for now, I'm just going to leave it this way. So once we have this right here, what I'm going to do is to go down to where we have this particular style right in and have it opened up. And as you can see, we have states like, what do you want when you bring in the icons right here? Do you want it to be some kind of like on hover, on press, or disabled? So just leave it this way and scroll a little bit down. Can you see it right now? And here you will have the fill. So the fill is this. I have to make sure I turn on the fill and I have all this active. So once we have the fill right here, what we can do right now is to go right to browse and click on it and go to where we have our icons. So we have our I think I already have so many icons or animated icon downloaded previously before now right in here, which you can as well go ahead and get it and all of that. So this one we want to use is this particular circle right here. I'm going to go ahead and double click and have it right in here. So now it's not really giving us the kind of picture we want to see. What we can do right now is go to this particular image feed and click on it. So you have fill. Let's see what fill does. Fill makes it some kind of centralized inside it, and let's see what fit does again. So this is what fit does. So what we use instead, we're gonna have to use the fill right, so it gives us perfect circle, and it's okay. We have this. So can we just use zero transparency, or we have to put it on 100%? When we put it on 100%, what happens? It disappears because it doesn't show nothing. So we have to make sure we'll put it right on 0%. So we have to come down to border and turn it off. Before I go to border, let's see what we have. When I step off right now, we have this border around it that is some kind of black, which we don't want to see. Click back on it and go right to this particular style. So we can scroll down a bit and go down to where we have it. And now we have the turn of the border. We don't want to see the icons, but we don't have icon either, but you can just leave it the way it was. Now we have something like this. So it is time for we to kind of make it the way we want, right? So now what are we seeing right here that we have the disable? We just have to make sure we size it. And I'm going to go ahead and size this as well. I'm going to keep it in the middle because of the color. I don't want to kind of extend out. And something like this will be very cool. Okay guys, this is how we got this right here. As you can see, we have something similar to what we have right here right now. Okay, the only difference we have right now is that we have this one to just give us some kind of transaction, and we have this one to be on when we hover over it, it gives us time range. I want to see when we do this, we just want to have this. So how do we go about this? And as well, we want to actually have to type this in to signify what the circle is all about. That is exactly what we have to do. So let's get that on it. Let's go back to here, and we're going to go back to right here. And now we have to make sure we have something that tells us what we actually have this circle for. I just want to go right here, and we have this. We just have to bring it up a little bit. So just go ahead and make sure you have it right here. I'm going to type in right here, transactions, right? So I'm going to Ctrl A, and we just have to make sure we crank it up a little bit. I want to put it on 12, and if I'm not saturated, I can just go ahead and have it on 18. Now we have something like this, and cool. Yeah, we can just go ahead and use some kind of cool color like this, right? And you can just make sure I centralize it, and just want to go ahead and make it a bit smaller, just like this. And now what we need to do is just to go right to effects and turn off the background for it, right? And quickly, if you want to put it in some kind of bold, you can make it bold, is your option. You can just have to some kind of extend it out a little bit and just have it on this particular part right here. Can you see that right now? This is what we're gonna do to have all of them some kind of created, right? So let's do that. Okay, right now I'm just so sorry. I just want to make sure I speed something up right here. I did this behind the scene. It's just something that we've done right here. So we just have to, create it for every part of it. So what we want to do is that every single time we hover over this, we want to see something that appears that tells us, okay, this is product. And when we click on it, it's going to take us to another page. That is what we want to achieve. But before then, we should have some values right inside it that is actually peculiar to product, customers, locations, sales team, and years right here. Do you get that right now? Okay, let me take you to this one, show you what I'm talking about. I'm gonna go right here, and this is what it is, right? You find some kind of I'll hold my control key right now because I'm not on Power BI service. It's not going to work if I just click on it alone. I'm going to hold my control key and just go ahead and click on it. And right now it's going to navigate us to another page, which is this particular page right here, where we have just the product analysis right in. So that is how we got to this page. And if we want to go back, or we want to actually visit on that page, what we can do is to come right here and just click on it, and we're going to have this opened, right? So can you see what just got opened right now? Give it some time to get initiated. So now we have this, so we can kind of step into it and look at where we want to go next out of that. So if we want to close it right now, we can just go ahead and close this. I'm going to show you how to get everything created from scratch. You don't worry. All you have to do is to keep watching and get to finish the whole tutorial, and you will now get, okay, this is what I'm talking about. Now, if I want to go to time range, I want to go to order right now, click on this particular part right here. It's going to take us straight down to the order page. So now here we are, we just right here, and beautiful. We can see how this looks when we just do this. So this is where we were. You can click on it from here, or you can go right here and go on home, and everything's gonna work that way. That is exactly what we want to create right now. On the hover, we want to see time range. On the hover, we want to see sales team. On the hover, we want to see location, and on the hover, we want to see customers, and we want to see product. And right here, we want to see transactional data. But before then, we have to make sure we bring in the values we have right in here right now. Let's get on it. Right now, we want to know how many products we sell in our company, how many customers do we have, how many sales locations do we, make our transactions, and how many sales teams do we have, and how many years of data we have, and what is the total transaction over time. This is what we want to get right. How do we go about it? So you know what I always love to do? I just want to go right to home, and I'm going to click on okay, we have this enter data right here. I want to create what I call supporting table. This table is just going to host, or house the measures I'm going to create. It has no connection with other tables. It's just to help me to host most of my measures, so that when I'm trying to make changes, I'll just go straight up to that particular table and write, boom, I have it. I just gonna make my changes. That is what it is. So now we have it right here. I'm gonna type in first measures. So now you can name it anything you like, but right now I just named mine first measure. I know why I did that. In a jiffy, you will understand. Okay, I'm gonna click on load. I just want to load it straight to Power BI. We don't have to click on the date and take it to Power Query. No, that is not what we want to do. Give it some time. You're gonna find it right in these categories. So now we have gotten the table inserted for us, so which is our first measure. Can you see it right here right now? All you have to do is to click on it. Once you have it clicked on, right click, and what you're gonna find right now is this particular new measure right here. You have different options to some kind of insert a new measure. This is one of it, or you can click right here and go to new measure, get out of it. So I'm going to click from here to go to new measure. This time around, I want to actually count how many products we sell, right? So where do we have to do this? Do we have to do this on the dimensional table or on the fact table? Okay, if you must do this on the fact table, what you have to use is to use what I call distinct count, because on the fact table we have one single product to be purchased time without, like, time over time, like over and over again, like 10 times, 20, 50, even to 100 times. So I'm gonna actually have to say number of products using the hashtag, right? Go right here. I'm gonna type in product. So it's gonna be equal to distinct count. So distinct count, here we go. We have our distinct count right here. And all you have to pay attention to when you write any, DAX function is this particular part right here, where it tells you what a particular function is looking for in order to give you the output you really want. Now it's looking for a column. So what column do we want to give to this right now? I'm going to go to my fact table. I'm going to type in fact right here. So, and if I type in those FA, it's going to give me everything we have on the fact table, like every single column existing on the fact table. Right now, I just want to go for my product. So we have to locate where we have the product right in on the fact table. I'm going to type in fact table. Here we go. Just have the fact table right here. And sorry for that. I'm going to take this off. So now we have to scroll down a bit, and we're going to come right here and see where we have the product ID right in. Can you see it? I'm going to choose the product ID, and what I'm going to do right now is to close it, and I'm going to hit my enter key. Let's see what we're going to have. So we have our first measure created. You see, now you can do the number formatting. Don't forget about this in case you have it in Tarzan. You don't have to go back again and kind of start doing another thing. You just have to make sure you do it once and for all. So now I just have to make sure I select card. I'm going to go right here, and inside my card, I want to fill it with this card. And here we go. We're going to have it right in here. Just give it some time. Okay, now we have 47 products that our company sells, right? And we quickly have to do the formatting once and for all, and we replicate it for all the part of it. So just go right here, and we can just go ahead and click on this particular part and say category. We'll have it hidden. And now we go ahead and click on this particular, just go right here and go on this particular effect and turn off the background. So we have it turned off. So just have to make it smaller, so we can just take it up and have it right in here. Right now I don't like the black. I just have to change it to something cooler than that. Go right here, and I'm gonna select something like this. I think it's a little bit calm. If you want to look for a calm color, you might want to go for this. Right, I love this. Right, okay, that is beautiful. I'm gonna Ctrl+C to copy and Ctrl+V to paste it down. And I'm going to quickly move it and have it right here, right? So if I have it right here, what I'm going to do right now is to see how many transactions have we done over time, right? From the beginning of the business down till now. It's easy. Let us go within the function. I want to go ahead and click new measure right here. So once I have new measure inserted, let's see what we're going to do. You have to identify which one is your transactional table. Remember I told you we have dimensional table and we have fact table. The fact table is what is some kind of housing the whole transactional history of our business, right? While the dimensional table takes in those those data that has to do with customer information, product information, region information, sales team, and stores, right? Now I'm going to type in total transactions, right? Now it's going to be equal to now count rows. Every single line or every single row represents a single transaction. You know that? A particular row represents a particular transaction. If we have 100 rows, which means we have 100 transactions. So now we're looking for a table. We have to pull in the table right here, which is the fact table, and this is the fact table right here. I'm going to close it. I'm going to hit my enter key. That will help us to some kind of give us the holistic transaction we've had over time. So quickly, we just have to make sure we format it using the comma separator just to separate the Tarzan, right? Okay, once we are done with that, what we can do right now, we have this already clicked on. I'm going to go right here and deselect it. So make sure you have it selected and go right here and pick this up. This is what we need. And now we have it, right? Do we see that? So I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. I just want to go right here to fit into what I have. Just come right here. I'm going to go with 43. So this will fit in a bit. Okay, if I step off from it right now, this is what I have. Okay, can you see it right now? So maybe we might want to expand it out because we want to some kind of have it more in the middle, but I can leave it like this. It all depends on what you want to have. You can make a change of what it is that you have, right? Our Ctrl+V will help me to paste a new one, and quickly I want to move it right here and actually calculate the total customers we have. And this is going to be very, very easy. So we go right here, and I'm going to have to go ahead and copy this from here. I'm going to copy this and insert the new measure, just make a little changes. And that is all you have to do. That is all you have to do. every single time we have new customer, it's going to actually add up to the number we have right here. If we have newer products, right, that some kind of got into our store, it's going to add up new numbers right here. That is exactly what it is. So now let us have the new one inserted. So there we go, we have this particular one pasted, and what we can do quickly is just to actually change this one into customers, right? So customers, and we want to come right here, and you just have to change this one. I'm gonna have to get this one off, use the this particular bracket. I'm gonna have to step down, and here we have my customer ID, and quickly we just have to hit our enter key, and that is all we have to do. Yep, that is all we have to do. And we quickly go down and just deselect this and have this for it. So we go for the customer right now. We have 50 customers at this particular time we're talking to you. So we've just filled in those ones right here. Just this is what we've not some kind of filled up, right? I'm going to deselect it and have something like this just to give us some kind of, just a card without any value right inside it right now. The reason being that we've not some kind of created our date table in order for we to count how many years of data we have. So we're going to be creating a date table after this. So now can you see we've done the same thing, just like what we've done right here is what we've done right here to actually count how many stores we have and how many sales team we have as well. But on this one we have to create the date table. Okay, what we're going to create next is to see how we can actually create this particular part that makes us to hover over this, and as well not just hover, and when we click on it, it takes us down to the next page that we have. Let's do that. So let us go back here. I'm going to click on this, and we have to be here right now. Okay, what we can do is just to go to insert, and from insert you can see where we have this button right in, and still want to go ahead and insert a blank, a blank one. So I'll click on it and we have it here. I'm going to drag it to this part, and we have to some kind of like open it up and have it to cover this place up, right? Okay, once we have it this way, what we can do right now is to go to where we have style, and what we want to do this time around is coming right here and like, okay, I want to have a text right on this particular one button right here, and every single time I hover over it is when I want to see the text I'm gonna have on it. So I'm gonna say on hover. So what do you want? On hover text, you have to put it on, and we come right here and type in our text to be transactional details. So we have it. Now this is what it is. So you can, sorry for that. So you can change the font type. You can actually play with the font color right here, and you can choose where you want to have it, like in the middle of it and vertically, all of that. Play around what you have right here. But right now, let us step out and see what we have, right? So let's see. If I hover over it right now, we have it in the middle, which is not some kind of cool. I'm gonna some kind of click back on it and go right here, and quickly I want to step down, and let's see what we're gonna have when I just choose something like this. We'll hover over it, we have it right here. If I choose this, we're gonna have it right here. And now if I choose this, I'm gonna have it at the top, but this is where it is. So which means I have to choose this one, right? And this is where we have it. So quickly we can go back, and we have to some kind of change the font type to something that's gonna look a little bit bolder. What about this? Let's see what we have. Can you see this right now? This is cool. This is cool. So what we can do is some kind of Ctrl+C and Ctrl+V to paste it down, and I'm gonna have to move this away from here down to this part, and we just have to make sure we reduce this, make sure it fits into what we have right here. I'm gonna make it this way. So right, coming right here right now, we just have to change the text we have inside it to be some kind of we should kind of hover over on it, and that is what it gives us. We want to go down to where we have the text and hover. We just have to take this off. I want to type in products. Now if I hover now, this is what I have. So let's tap off it. Now this is what I have. But one thing is actually, not really cool. We just have to click on it. I'm gonna click on this one. I wish I could do it at once. Go right here, And let's scroll down a bit. We want to take off the border around it. So we just have to go ahead and turn off the border. So let's see what we have. Now, when we hover, this is what we're going to have. I love this. When we go to Power BI service, it's going to look very awesome, right? Okay, now what we can do is just to make sure we Ctrl-C and Ctrl-V to have it pasted, and quickly come right here and just have it right here, and then come right to this particular style and go right here and put it on some kind of hover, and this is going to be active. Now we can change this one to customers. So once we actually step off and go ahead and hover, we have this. This is exactly what we have to do for every part of it. So now this is what we need to have. Okay, let's say we want some kind of click on this particular one and we want it to some kind of take us to customer. What we can do is to insert a new page, and on this one I'm going to some kind of let me home, like home, and right here double click on it to have it active. I'm going to name this one my customers, right? But I want some kind of like every single time I click on the customer right here, I want to appear right in here. What can I do? Just click on this particular one that has hover on it and come to this action. And once you're here, make sure you turn it on. This is what it is. All this part will be very active for you. Okay, then you come back to where we have type and click on it, and you go to where we have page navigation, right? So once you click on page navigation, it's going to ask you for destination. You just have to go right here and say customer. You might have different pages, just choose the page you want to have some kind of like navigate to, and there you're gonna go, right? So now how do we test it? Hold your control. When you hover over it, hold your control and click on it, and let's see, it takes us to our customer page. That is what we're going to do to have it some kind of like, on all part of it. So we are really cool with what we have right now. Okay, next, before we go further, is to create our date table. Let's see how we can kind of create our own custom table. But before we go ahead and do that, let me show you something. Should you have some kind of a little bit complicated data or complex data, just like what I have right now, you should know what to do and the kind of date table you should create. Now we have procedure, okay, right? Okay, it's procure date right here. We have the order date, we have the ship date, and we have the delivery date right here, which means 4 different columns carries dates, right? And which particular one do we want to use? We want to use the one that has the order date, right? We don't want to use this, neither this, nor this. We don't want to use either of those 3 columns, but this one I just have some kind of highlighted. Now, what am I talking about? Let's see that in action, right? Okay, now if we have to create a date column, so go to home, a date table rather. You can see where we have new table right here. Go ahead and click on it, and once that actually pops out, we just have to type in the name of the table, right? What name do we want to use for our table? Okay, right now, as you can see, we have this table right here. We can decide to use date table or calendar table. I'm going to use calendar table right here. Okay, I'm going to have my equal to right in here. So now what function do we have to use? We are going to use the function called calendar auto. Calendar auto will scan through the date column we have inside our data and pull every single date right here for us. So I'm going to have to indent, just shift enter, it's going to move to the next line, and I'll have to indent it. I'm going to go with this twice. So now can you see that right now? I use my tab key to move it. So what I can do right now is to type in calendar auto. So as you can see, we have the calendar auto right here. Let's see the magic of calendar auto. Go ahead and close the bracket, then hit your enter key. Now let's see what it is. Okay, we have a new date generated for us from the date we have personally inside the data with some kind of imported inside Power BI. That was how we got this generated, but this is not where we want to stop. We have to actually make sure we customize it based on what we want and what kind of analysis we want to make. So we have to add columns like month, year, quarter, and even weekdays if we need to use weekdays right on our analysis. So what do I do and how do I actually add that up? So all I have to do right now is to come right here Can you see my cursor blinking? I'm gonna have to click or hold down my shift key, enter. Now my top key moves it this way. Then because we need to add columns, okay, right here we just have to use add column function. Add columns, right? Can you see right now? Add columns. So we just have to step down right here and have a comma right here, shift enter to make sure our code is very clean to read. Now we have to start writing the columns we want to add. So what we want for the first time, so we want to pull the ears away from here down to another column. So I'm going to actually go with this. So I'm going to go with ear, and now the next thing I'm going to do is for me to some kind of say comma. I'm going to type in the ear function. So this is the ear function right here. So with the ear function, sorry for that. So with the ear function we have right here right now, so we have to make sure we provide the date of table for it. Can you see what is asking for right now? This is where you have to pay very good attention. In case you don't know what is going on right here, you have to read through it to know what it wants from you to function or to work. I'm going to put in my date right here, and we just have to scroll down and see what it is that we want. Now if you look at this, those are functions inside inside Power BI, and this one right here is part of what we imported inside Power BI ourselves. And you can see the difference. The ones that are function carries fx, while the one we imported right in, that is a column inside our data, is actually this one that carries this particular table icon. I'm gonna just choose this. I'm gonna have it closed. I'm gonna hit my enter key. Let's see what we're gonna have. Alright, now we have in that column with just the extraction of the ears we have inside this particular date with some kind of extracted add before now. Okay, what if we want to add more columns? So right now I don't want this particular close bracket right now. I'm gonna have to step it down. So I just have to make sure it is right there. Now I have to continue this to add more columns. So I'm gonna have to put my comma right here because I want to continue this. Don't worry about this error you have right here. Don't worry about it. Shift key, enter. I'm gonna have to indent it with top key. It's gonna move it for me. So now I want to add months, and we have to say comma, and we have to say months. Sorry, not the month now, but we have to use format. Just if you are very familiar with Excel, you must have known this. So format, and in the format we're looking forward to have it formatted in a particular way, right? So we still bring our date right here. Again, the date column right in here. Just scroll down to pick it up. Here we go. We have the date column right here, and this is what it is. I'm gonna have my comma right now. It is time to format it the way I want it to go. So you see, this is month. I'm gonna have my right here. Can you see that right now? I'm gonna have it closed, and I'm gonna close this, and if I hit my enter key right now, let's see what we have. So now we have this, right? So if I have now 4 M's, what am I gonna have? I'm gonna have full January. So I want to have it short like this because I want it to look very beautiful on chart. So I'm gonna leave it this way. But we have to add one more column for month. So it's called helper. This helper will help us to some kind of sort this. But before I sort it, I'm gonna show you the result. It's gonna pull out without we using this particular column I am about to add right now. So I'm gonna hold my shift, enter, and I'm gonna have to indent it, and now I'm gonna type in okay, sorry for that, I just have to put my comma right here, then I have to come right here right now, start doing the typing. I'm gonna type this one, month number, so month num for month number, and now it's gonna be comma, it's gonna be months, so we're gonna have to go with months, and date is what we're gonna have right here. So date, we just have to go pick it up right from here. That is exactly what it is. So I'm gonna have to close this right now. I'm gonna hit my enter key. So let's see what it is. So now we have the month number. So it's actually counting from what? From 1 to 12, like January down to December. Can you see it right now? From 1 to 12. So we're gonna use that to sort this particular month right here. Okay, quickly, let us add more columns. So now we just have to add, week, days, right? I'm gonna have my comma right there, shift, enter, top key to move it. I'm going to type in here weekdays. So you know what it is, right? So we just have to use the same format for it. Format and date. We have to quickly scroll down to pick it up right from here. And now we just have to put our comment right there. And you know what it is that we have to add right now is day. Depends on how you want it to come. So I'm gonna have to close this. I'm gonna hit my enter key, and we can still go ahead and some kind of like add and the helper right here. We're gonna help us with some kind of sort the date column, sorry, the weekdays column. And you know what I'm gonna do? It's very simple and easy. If you follow this particular step I'm actually going through right now, you actually create a very nice looking date table that will help you to some kind of create your analysis. So this is not the best way to some kind of format DAX code, but I'm just doing it the best way I could to some kind of explain to you what you need to know. So now I'm gonna type in here week number, like for week number for week num, like week num means week number. And now I'm gonna type in here comma week, and here we go, weekday. I'm gonna type in here my date, right? So we're gonna scroll down to get it. So here we go, we have it. I'm gonna close it and I'm gonna hit my enter key. Let's see what we have. So now we should have the week numbers, like number of the weeks, right? So this is exactly what it is. So better. Now we need to add for quarter. Let's see what quarter is gonna look like. So to add for quarter, quickly let us add our comma, shift, enter, and just indent it with tab. And now we just have to type in our quarter like this, and here we go. We just have to put a comma, and we use the same format again, and date right in here. So date, and we just go ahead and pick it up from here. So here we get it, and comma, we just have to format this. And this time around, you have a particular, we have this stroke, like, let me just zoom and let you see what I'm talking about. You have those two kind of stroke, I don't know what you call it, on your keyboard. So which one are we going to use is the problem right now. I just want you to some kind of identify which one you are going to press on your keyboard, because if we choose the wrong one, it's not going to work. So the one we're going to choose is the one that is, it depends on how your keyboard is being some kind of arranged, is the one that is actually at the top of enter. So which is this one? Hold your shift key and click on that. It's going to give it this, but don't hold your shift key, just click on it, it's going to give it this. Just look for that on your computer, you're going to find something like this. And after that, you're going to type in your Q right here to mean quarter. And now we can just go ahead and have it closed and hit our enter key. Let's see what we have. Okay, just give it some time. So we have the quarter column to be some kind of inserted for us. If I go right here right now, you can see from quarter 1 down to quarter 4. This is exactly what you should know, right? Okay, now that we've gotten this, let us actually, go ahead and some kind of test it out. First of all, what we need to do is to some kind of mark this as a date table. What we do? This is where we sort it, but when we want to mark it as a date table, we have to some kind of go right here. So go to this particular tool, table tools right here, click on it, and you can see mark as a date table. Make sure you click on that, and you see where we have this particular mark as a date table. Go ahead and click it and give it some time, and here you go, you have this right up for you. So on the date, on this particular select column, open it up and select date. And here you go, you have it marked for you, validated successfully. Just come right here and click on OK. That is the first step you need to take after you might have added all the columns, right? Okay, before we come back right here again, let us have this closed for now. And we want to go back to this particular, a module area. Click on that, right? And you can see we have, not well arranged. I'm going to call that. So I'm going to have it closed. So we have to locate where we have the date we've just created, the date table we've just created. I'm going to scroll this way. We should find it somewhere around here. Scroll up again. And here we go. We have it. I'm going to bring it all the way right here. And quickly, I want to bring it this way. Now, we just have to make sure we arrange things for which some kind of have a space for it. So you can still do other, good arrangement to have this, right? Okay, what we want to do right now is to some kind of connect this to the right column we want to use for it. I'm going to have this order dates. I'm going to drag it down to my, date right here. And let's see what it is. It's going to be a one-to-many relationship. That is what we're expecting to see. And now here we go. Can you see that right now? Good, nicely, we have it done. I'm going to go back to this visualization area, and quickly I want to actually use this particular new new page right here. And now we have to go with a table. I'm going to go with the table. I want to come right here and open my calendar table right here and actually bring in my month. And now that my month is here, let's see what we're going to have inside this my month right here. I just want to go ahead and bring any column at all. I want to scroll down and bring any column that has value on it. Okay, let us go with unit cost, something like that. Now, if you can see what we have right here right now, it's not some kind of starting from January down to December. It's some kind of scattered in places, right? The same thing would happen if I copy and have it pasted and actually drag it this way and go ahead and some kind of change it to something like, I want to go for weekdays, right? I'm going to go for weekdays. Can you see what we have now from Friday, Monday and all of that? So we want to actually take care of this. How do we do that? So we have to quickly go back here, and now this is where we have to, make sure we go back to column tools, right? And here we are on the column tools. And we want to some kind of sort this column by this column. So what do? We can go ahead and say sort by column, and we want to sort this particular column we have highlighted. Make sure any column you want some kind of sort, you have it clicked on before you open this particular place up. So by week, by month number right here, and that is done. Yeah, you're working on it. Okay, 100% done. So we want to sort this column. Make sure you some kind of highlight it first by this particular column right here. So go ahead and click on this, and you have to identify the column you want to sort it by. I'm going to click on that, and let's see what is going to happen right now. Okay, beautiful. Let us go back right here and see what we have. Okay, if you can see, we have it started from January down to December, and here from Sunday down to Saturday. This is beautiful. We have just some kind of create something very, very, okay. But now one thing is left for us to some kind of decide. If we go back to this particular view right now, I told you if I go to my fact table right here, we have many date column that we want to some kind of decide where we want to limit this particular date to some kind of be functioning from, right? Because we might have different date year from this one, different year from this one, different year from this one, and we don't want to some kind of create some kind of confusion for Power BI or for the machine to be thinking like, what do you want me to do? And the next thing, the machine is not human, it's going to throw out some error for you. So for that, let us do that. So we're going to go back right here right now. And okay, sorry, we have to still be here, and we click on our calendar table, and here we go. We have to open this place up, and now it is time for we to add new codes. We're going to use variable this time around to have it done the way it should be. So let us restrict the calendar auto from some kind of extracting date from any other column first. I'm gonna have to go hit my shift key and my enter key right now, indent it this way, and now I have to start with this. Okay, I'm gonna start with like a variable like var is the variable, and the variable name is gonna be min date, so equal to min. So here we go. And here, what do we want to pass inside this particular min right here? So we have to pass in the date column we want to some kind of use to some kind of like, create our calendar date, which is the order date. So once I type in my order right now, I'm going to see my order date right here, and this is what it is. So we have to bring in the order date right here. I'm going to close it. So now to create for the marks right now, we just have to copy this one from here, Ctrl C to copy it. And we have to shift enter, and we have to paste this one down, and that is exactly what it is. Okay, right now we have to extract the year. How do we do that? Right now, the min year and the max year. So we have to turn this one right here. Sorry for that, I'm gonna have to say max date. So max date, and if I just type max date right there, instead of min right here, I'm gonna have max right here, So we have marks right in there. This is what we have. So right now we have to, so we have to extract the mean year. So for that, I'm going to come right here. I'm going to type in my year right here, and we have to quickly select this and come back right here and have the year closed. That is the mean year we have some kind of extracted, and we want to some kind of extracted the max year from here as well. So we go with this, and quickly we just have this closed. That is exactly what we have to do. Don't actually mind those errors we have right here. Once we are done writing this code, it's going to actually get cleared itself automatically. You don't just worry about it. So we can now use this variable in the return part right here, shift enter, and I'm going to type in here return. So return, right? So now we just have to make sure we so we embed the calendar auto inside a filter. So I'm going to go shift enter. Right now we're going to type in here filter, right? So filter, then we come right here. When our cursor is right here, shift enter. Now we are trying to embed the calendar auto, the variable inside calendar auto right here. And what we can do right now is to say where the year, like year, gonna have to say this is the year right here, dates. So we have to go scroll down and pick up the date, and here we go. We have the date right here. Okay, is greater and equal to mean date, right? Okay, we use the ampersand, and we're gonna have to just go ahead and some kind of either copy or I write from the scratch again. I'm gonna just type, I'll hold my shift key, enter key right here. I'm gonna type in my year again, and I have to type in my, this is the year, open brackets, and dates. We pick up the date from here. Can you see that right now? So after this, we're gonna say where it is less than or equal to. Yeah, previously we say where is greater than or equal to, so now it's less than equal to max date, right? So now we can hold the shift key and enter and have this closed, then comma. Now this is just a common error, so we should have closed this bracket right here. We forgot to some kind of have it closed. I'm gonna close this right now, and the underline red will get off, so which means everything is working fine. So if you look at what's going to happen right now, it doesn't really have any effect, any visible effect right on the date table we've created previously before now. So all we did is to some kind of prevent, excess, date generated for us from those columns, those other columns we have, like procured dates, ship date, delivery date, and other dates, right? So now we just want to restrict it to this particular date, no matter how we have new dates coming into this particular other columns. So with this particular code we've just written on this particular one right now, there is nothing that would affect our analysis and stuff like that. So you have to actually have this precaution, even though if you're not, if your date table does not contain some kind of complicated date, just like what we have used right now. So can you see what we've done on the date area right here? This is one of the beautiful things you have to do to create an amazing, date table in Power BI. So beautiful. It is time for we to some kind of start, making more deep insight in this data. Next in our project is to create this particular customer analysis, which is where we have created customer retargeting, just like what we have here right now. So what you're seeing right now is this. We have the transaction of every single customers we have existing in our data table, and we have the last purchase date, and we have how many days ago have they actually purchased from us. And right here what we did is just some kind of like limited to like the top, not the top, rather we try as much as we could to search for how many of those customers had not some kind of purchased from us for the last 12 days and above, right? And you can see 13 last 13 days, 14 days, 21 days ago, and 28 days ago. This is what it is. This is exactly what we are trying to some kind of replicate and create something like this for you to understand how to run such analysis when you need to do it. Okay, what we have to do right now we want to go down to this particular blank slate right here and get started. And what I love to do every single time is to some kind of insert a new supporting table that will only house the measure that concerns our customer analysis, so that when we want to some kind of make changes, we don't have to search through what we have the measure we want to make changes right, and we just come straight to it, and voila, everything works well. So I'm going to right click right here and some kind of create a new measure, right? So with the new measure I'm going to create right now, what do we want to have on the new measure? So we want to see the last purchase date. That is what we have to extract before we can create the custom one we want to create. Okay, so I'm going to type here last purchase date. So it's going to be equal to, I'm going to use the last date function right here. And if you remembered, we have different types of date column existing in our fact table, so we have to limit it to just the order date, right? I'm going to go for order date, and here we go. We have the order date column right here, have it closed, and then I'm going to hit my enter, and there we go, we have it. That is the first thing we have to do before we branch out and create something more awesome than this. Okay, now we have it right here for us. This is where we have it, and quickly you can change the date format right here. I'm gonna go for something like this. That is month, day, and year. That is beautiful. So we have to insert another measure right now. We can make sure we are inside the table. You can actually come right here and go to home. Then you can use this new measure, click on it, and you're gonna have another measure inserted for you. All right, now that we have this right here, so what are we going to do? So we want to some kind of extract the date that we have seen our customer last. So I'm gonna say this since last purchase, SLP, S for since and L for last and P for purchase. So which is date since last purchase. I'm gonna say equal to value right here, just value, not values, value. I'm gonna use the calculate function. So using the calculate function, I'm gonna type in max. So because I want to draw the max date of every single customer right now, I'm going to use the max, and I'm gonna go by order date. Right, so here is my order date right here in the fact table column. So I'm gonna have to close that, comma. So using the all function to take any or filter that might have been on it, the all function, and we just want to still refer back to the the table again, because when you see or when you actually type in all, you can see it's looking for table name or column. So right now I'm gonna put the column, the table name right there, which is fact table. So here we go, the fact table. So now we can close this, and we're gonna have it some kind of close again. So I'm gonna subtract it from the last purchase date we've created previously before now. And to see all the measures we have right here, just go with this particular square bracket, and it's going to give us all the measures we've some kind of created. Now we have last purchase date. This is what we want to use, and I'm going to have to some kind of close it right here. And beautiful. If I hit my enter key right now, I should have what I've just created. So we have to format the date just like usual. So here we go. Date since last purchase is this. Make sure you have it selected, and we can definitely go ahead and make use of it. I'm gonna click on this. I'm gonna have it on a table, and now I want to go ahead and bring up my customers. So we just have to check the customer table. Here we go. Bring the customers right in, and I want to go ahead and move it up. That is beautiful. So don't worry, for now, all we have to do is to have this some kind of formatted. Click on it, and we want to go right here and put it on 0 decimal. So we just take it from auto down to 0, and if I hit my OK right now, it's going to give us the numbers of this since we have last seen this particular customer. So now let's just get to see what is going on right here. If you come right here right now, this particular customer with this particular company name has not been seen for the last 13 days. This has not been seen for the last 1 day ago. And when we have 0, which means it is not up to a day that we've not seen this customer. And this is exactly what it is. It's based on the date you have on your, date column that is going to actually evaluate this. You understand what that means? Okay. Now that we've got 10 days, the next thing we can do right now is to drag in the last purchase date right into it, right? Make sure you click on it. And I want to bring it up right here. Now, here we go. We have the last purchase date for every single one of our customers right here. The next column we have to bring right here right now is the transactions. So I'm going to type in here trans, and here we have the total transaction over time. I'm going to have to drag it right here. And this is how I want it to be some kind of arranged. And I'm going to have to drag this down. I want to have it right here. So let us leave it this way for now. So we're going to actually format this, but that is when we have some kind of created our template. But one more calculation we have to do is to see how many of those customers we've not seen for a specific period of time. So let's evaluate what time we're talking about. So get this one off, and I'm going to have my cursor right here. So now let's see how we can get this particular customer retargeting created, like this particular part right here. We want to filter it from this huge data. So all we have to do is to insert new measure. I'm going to type here retargeting or customer retargeting. So here we go, customer retargeting. I'm going to say equal to, and now it has to be, we're going to use if condition. I'm going to say if this since last purchase, like here we go, we have this one created, like this since last purchase here. If this since last purchase is greater than or equal to 12, if it is within 12, like if it is above 12 or equal to 12 exactly, I want you to return this for me. Return this since last purchase for me, right? You're going to understand that when I'm done creating. And if that is not what it is, I just want you to give me blank. So which means don't display any customers that does not fall in this particular specification. So I'm going to have to close this and hit my enter key, and let's see this. So we can quickly go right here and take it from auto. I'm going to have it on 0 decimal. That is what we have to do. And let us see what we have right here. I'm going to have to bring my table down. I want to take this one, and I want to select the customers that will fall in that category. And this is what it is. We just have a few customers, right? So if you look at it vividly right now, we have this particular customer since last 10 days, 21 days ago, 13 days ago, and 28 days ago. And this one is just 14 days ago. So you're not some kind of restricted to, the number I've just used right here, 12 days. You can decide to use like 11 days ago. And if I hit my enter key, if we have any customer that falls in within this range, you will definitely see it. But none of the customers fall within the 11 days ago. We still have it to start from like 13 days ago. Now, this is what you can do to have it created. So next again, if we go back to the previous one, you can see the chart we use right here is a custom chart. If I click on it and I'm going to hover over this right now, what I see is horizontal bar chart. So we have to get this from the marketplace. So you must have some kind of logged in into Power BI service right now. Once you're signed in, you'll now have access to that. Okay, right now, let us quickly go back to here and we have to understand what the name is so that when we want to make search, we should know what we're searching for is horizontal bar chart. So we have it, so horizontal bar chart. So coming back right here right now, all we have to do is to some kind of click right here and get more visual. This is what it is. Click on get more visual and let it open up. So it's loading. So now we have different custom visuals. So the one we're looking for is the horizontal bar chart, horizontal bar chart. So this is the one we're looking for. So just click on it. And once it loads, we can have it some kind of, click down and get it down to our project environment. Okay, here we go, we have it, right? So if you don't know how to use this and you're actually getting it for the first time, you might want to go through every single thing you have right here to know how it works. And as you can see, pricing is free. We have some paid version, right? But you're actually using the free one right now, so I'm not going to some kind of make you to like pay for anything right here. We don't have to download it, we just have to click on add, right? So see what happens. So when we click on add, we're going to see it appear under this particular part in a jiffy. So we have successfully added it up right here. That is okay. So now clicking on this one, we have to change it to this. So give it some time. Now, this is what we have, but we have to make sure we format it to look just as beautiful as what we have right now. Number one, I don't like the color. I have to make the color to be very calm to match up the dashboard we are creating and all that, and you know. But first of all, what are we supposed to do? It is time for we to go into the next, phase of, custom template. As you can see right here, if you look at what we have right on this one, we are using custom template from, PowerPoint. So we just have to go right to PowerPoint and have this created. So I'm going to come right here and click on PowerPoint. As you can see here, we have it opened, and we can start to create our next, sets of templates. So we can use this particular blank presentation. So once we click on that, we're going to see something blank. So here we go, we have the blank one right here. Do not touch the height and as well the weight of it. So if we go to the previous one we've created, here we go, we have it. So this is exactly what we want to create. So how do we go about this? It's very simple and easy. Let's get on it. So let us go to the top ribbon right here, and I'm going to actually pick this particular rectangle rounded corners. So click on that. I have to change the color. Right click to change the color before we finally settle it down to where we want to have it. So open this place up and come here. We don't have the color we want to use. I'm gonna go right. Okay, let us use this color. Okay, fine. So we have this color. I can go ahead and go to the line. So open the line up and actually go ahead and turn off it. So I'm gonna have to close this for now. So we have to expand it. And I'm gonna have to make sure it sits right here. I just want to some kind of reduce it, and I want to make it cover this particular aspect right here. That is beautiful. I'm gonna have to double it this time around, so have another one on top of it. So let us just go ahead and change this one to white. We go right here. So we come right to this particular part, and we turn it to white. We have something like this. So we can now go ahead and some kind of make sure it sits right here. And now this is how we got this round corner. If we go to this finished one, and here we click on this, so we can see this little just little curveness we have right here is what we have just right there. So we want to go back to what we are creating, and I want to make sure this is some kind of like scroll this way, and I want to make sure this one covers right here. And now we have this. So once we've gotten this, you can actually go ahead and make it some kind of not too curvy. So go to the top ribbon. So I'm gonna pick the same thing, drag it down here. So we have to change this one. I'm gonna make it by 6.95 by 6.95. Okay, we have something like this. I want to make sure this one sits right here, and the curviness is something I have to make sure is a little bit curvy like this. Okay, so we can right click on it and go ahead and bring the format shape right up. And I wanted to select this, and we have to quickly change this one to this color. This color we've used. Here we go. I'm gonna have to duplicate it, and I want to change this one to this color right here. This is what it is. So I want to have to some kind of put it on top of it, and I want to make sure I just make it this way, and it's going to give me this kind of effect. So fill it down. We don't want it to show. Okay, now this is what we have. This is what we want to create right here to house another definition of what the dashboard is all about. So we can quickly go ahead to the top and bring this particular text box. You can drag it down. So I'm going to type in here customer analysis. So customer analysis, and what I'm going to do right now is go to the top level right here, and I'm going to have this. Oh no, not this, but this. I want to just go for loose or space. We just want to define how we want it to be, some kind of like have some gap. And if we go for this, you can see tight, can see what it is, can see the effect it gives us, right? So I want to go for very loose, and here we go. We have something like this. Can some kind of compress it a little bit right here. I'm going to duplicate that, and I want to take this to this particular part here. And on this one, I'm going to type in here my dashboard. I can go ahead and change the font type. I'm going to come right here, just change this to this, and I want to change the color to something like this. So quickly, you can move this and have it right here. How about this? So now we are writing it, right? We can get this duplicated now. Duplicate it and drag it down. So let us change the height and the weight for it. And I'm going to come right here. So we want to go by our 2.75. So 2.75. So I have something like this. Okay, now for the line, we want a solid line for it, and the solid line should be something that has to do with a duck. Oh, sorry. We don't want to have that. Yeah, we have line, solid line. Let's step. Okay, already we have it. So we have line, we have solid, and we have no line. When we see solid line for it, let's see how the line is going to look like. Here we go. We have to come right here and choose how we want the line color to look like and all of that. I'm going to choose this, and I have to some kind of make it a little bit darker. We don't want something to be, oh sorry, we've not selected it, so we have to make selection first. So solid line, and we come right here and change the line color to something just like this, and this is what we want to have. So you might want to change the point of it, and you have something just like this. So you have to situate it right to where you want it to be. So I need 2 of them, so make sure this one is rightly here. I'm going to duplicate this. I'm going to take one and have it right here. And the next one is for me to shift this right. I'm going to duplicate this. I'm going to make this one smaller a bit. Just compress it just like this. And I have to open it up. And I just have to make sure this one goes to the top. And here we go. We have that alignment. And we can just make sure the circle is not really too much. Okay, now we can just duplicate this, and I'm gonna have to bring this right here. So it's gonna stand for my header, and I can drag it right to this part here. So if I now scroll to this end, here we go, I can just remove this curveness totally, and I want to come, go right to the top. And I want to take off the line or the border out of it. Quickly come and change this one to something like this. Or if that's too much, we just can go ahead and change it to something just like this, right? This is what we have. So nicely, we can just have this one duplicated. I'm going to bring it here. I want to come say no line, and for the fill color, I want to put it on white, and I can quickly just make it a little bit smaller, and I can have it right here for something very important. So we want to have it right here. So if you look at it right now, we've just completed this one, and it's ready to go to actually work on the environment where we want to use it right on Power BI. So it has not much, it doesn't have some, huge differences from what we have right here. Can you see it now? It's just like a replicant of what we have right in the previous one. Can you see it? So we can come right here and just make sure we have a calm color for this. Right? So right click and format shape. you want to go right and so we go to the text area, and we just have to change the text color to something like this. Okay, that is nice. So we have this, and what you need to do, you know what it is already, we've done that before now, is to some kind of export this out by going to export, and you choose where you want to have it exported by clicking on this. And if you want to use the PNG, you have it right here, the JPG, or if you want to use the GIF, you can actually double click on that, and once you have this right here, you can choose the GIF right here, and that is exactly what you're gonna have, and you choose where you want to have it saved in. All right, that is how you get to create your template. And now we are ready to actually take this template down to Power BI environment and get it used. In the Power BI environment, we have to click on format your report page and go to canvas, and we click right here. All we need to do right now is to go get it. So let's see. Now I'm going to click on where I could have it. So I'm going to go to resources pack right here, employees, okay, regional sales dashboard. Now here you have it, right? So you should be able to spot the one we've just created previously, which is this particular custom right here. I'm going to double click it, and we should have it right now. When we put it on 0%, we're going to have something like this. The high is nice. Or we can quickly use this particular fit or fill. Either of it will be cool for us. And now we just have to make sure we resize this to fit into where it should be. I'm going to resize it a bit. I'm going to take it up. I want to have something like this. So we want to get this particular one off. So here we're going to have to some kind of extend this one to the side, and that is beautiful. And we have to make sure this one goes right here. And we just have to fill this one. So don't forget, we're gonna have to format this to make sure it looks clean right on this particular part. So we've gotten something like this. So we have to fill some other things right here, like so we want to have a customer here, and we're gonna have a transaction and customer retargeting just right on this particular part right here. That is exactly what we want to have right on them. So it's very easy to come to some kind of create, very easy. And the next thing I'm going to do right now is to some kind of go right to this particular part, and we have to insert some kind of if I go to the finished one, so we have some animated icons right here. This is what we want to some kind of insert, right? If you some kind of pay attention on the previous one, when we started this particular class, I've shown you how to some kind of get it downloaded. If you've not watched that part, you might want to go to the beginning of the class and start watching until you get to where you have to some kind of get your animated icon and have it inserted. But I'm going to show you how to still insert it right away. So going back to here, all I need to do is just to go to insert, and I'm going to click on this button. We have to insert the blank one, and here we go, we have it. So I'm going to have to bring it right here, and I have to some kind of make it bigger, just like this. And quickly I have to go to where we have style, and from style I'm going to go down, and there we go. So we have to some kind of turn the border down. So we can go to the fill and turn it on, and we open it up, and we can click on this. So we still have the template open. So I'm going to come right here and click on it, and we have the GIF right here, which is GIF. That is the animated one. Double click on it, and you're going to see a lot of it, a lot of it, right? So we're going to use the customer. Let's just see which one is going to be some kind of represent our customers. We can go. What about this? If I double click on it right now, this is what I have. Can you see it? So now I'm going to come right here. I'll go from to fit, or you can go to fill. So I think this is okay. So we can just use this as our customer. So we can just make sure it sits right to where it should be. Something like this. I'm going to copy this away from here. Control V. I want to move it down to this particular part. So I'm going to copy this. Control V. I'm going to move it right here. This time around, I want to resize this. When I resize this is to look some kind of small. I have to individually change them. So just click on the one you want to change and come right here. And we go to where we have the fill. So we got a fill. I'm going to have to click on this and remove this. and actually some kind of get another one for it. So scroll down, scroll down, scroll down, scroll down. I want to use this for customer retargeting. So we just have to make sure we go for, fill. So we're gonna have something like this. And for transaction, I think I want to get shopping cart. So we should have it. I have some kind of downloaded this before now, so you can as well do the same thing. I've shown you how to get it downloaded website. Just go right and get it downloaded from that website. I think I'm some kind of not really cool with this, or we can go ahead and change it something else if you want to. Just scroll down a bit and look for something that's gonna look very cool on it. And okay, I think I'm gonna go with this. So we just have to quickly make sure we change it and have it on fill, right? Okay, now I want to have a navigation that if I click on it on Power BI service, it's going to take me, or even right here, it's going to work. So on Power BI service, what I'm going to do is just some kind of, have those, pages hidden. And we're going to use the inner navigation to navigate through the pages, right? So right now, I'm going to change this one to something different like home, which means it's, when we click on that, it's going to take us to home. So quickly come back to fill, have it opened, get it off, and have it opened and go straight down and see this is what it is. So I'm gonna go right here, gonna get this. Now we have something like this right here. Okay, for the size is pretty too much. I'm just gonna have to resize it. I think something like this would be very, very okay for me. Yeah, nicely, right? Okay, now for the transaction, it's very simple and easy to fill this place up. It's very simple and easy to fill them up. So we need to see how many customers we've had over time. That is exactly what we want to have right here. And quickly, I'm gonna come right here and type in my customer. So once I type in customer, right, I think I have hash. So this is my customers, right? The numbers of customers we have. I'm gonna click on this, and now we go ahead and change it to card, and some kind of narrow it down, make it a little bit smaller. Before that, I just have to go right here, and I'm gonna go right and take off the label, and come right here and turn off the background for it. Do it as once and some kind of copy it for other part of it. And right here, I'm gonna go to callout. I want to change this color to something very calm. I'm gonna go with this. So we think it's some kind of too bright. We go with this, something like this would be cool. So we can go ahead and have it on 40 alone. So I'm gonna go with 40. So we can actually have it right here. And next I'm gonna have it copied and Ctrl-V to paste it. I want to make sure I have it right here. And this time around, I want to see the total transaction for all the customers we have right in here. And here we go. And this time around, I have to search for total transaction. I'm gonna pick it up. So here we go. Wait for the total transaction. You can open it up should we have more figures coming in. Can you see this right now? This is very cool. So we're almost right there. So all we have to do right now to have a very solid, dashboard is kind of format this and format this to look just like what we have right here, right now, which is very simple and easy to do. So, and we still have one animation to be some kind of inserted for us, which is this one that actually shows that when we click on it, it's gonna actually open up, another, stuff for us to some kind of navigate through our dashboard. Specifically, if we are right on Power BI services, it's gonna some kind of look very, very cool. So you have to watch the complete video for you to have the huge knowledge on how to go about creating something awesome just like this. So let's some kind of, try to change the color of this particular, chart we have right here and take off this. So what we can do right now is for you to make sure you have it clicked on, and let's just go to, this particular part right here and turn off the title. That is okay, right? Okay, we can just some kind of move it down a little bit and try to resize it, and it's gonna be really cool. So this is what it is. So now we can go back, hit this particular effect right here and go ahead and turn off the background for it. Now we can go to visual And now coming to visual, where you have to some kind of touch right now is this particular bar settings. I'm going to open it up, and as you can see, we have the bar's color to be on white, and now we want to touch the bar's color right here. I'm going to go ahead and choose a particular color for it. Now, can you see the color I have right here right now? I want to see color matches this, and this color really matches it for me. But if you want to keep the color a little bit calm, what you can do is some kind of click on this particular mark colors, and you can play around with what you have right here and see how that is going to look like. As you keep moving this here, it's going to change colors for you, and you can actually like, okay, this is what I like. But make sure any color you choose at all should actually match the color you have previously right here. Don't invent new colors inside it. This is what you need to have, right? Okay, let's talk about the text that we have right here right now. We want to change the color of the text. You click on that, and here you go. We have it changed, and it's some kind of tool to dim. I'm gonna go ahead and use something like this, which is very okay. I love this, right? Okay, now we've gotten this. We have the bar label right here. I'm gonna open it up, and let's go ahead and see what we can do to change the color of the background. And I'm gonna go ahead and choose something like this, and I can go ahead and just make it smaller. It depends on what you want to do with it. So there are so many things you can do to some kind of have it, some kind of adjust. So if you some kind of have any formatting right on it that you don't like and you want to remove it, or you want some kind of take it back to default, it's very simple and easy. I'll click right to this particular reset to default right here. Let's see what we have. So we actually take it back to the default, like when we just have it for the first time. But that is not what I'm looking for to see. So I'm gonna go ahead and choose something like this. Go ahead and use instead. I'm gonna use this, so it's a little bit calm right now. So that is the settings you have to do. Okay, let us go to the font size. I'm gonna scroll up, and here we go. We have the font size right here. I'm gonna have it opened, and now it's not actually on the previous one. When we actually turn it on, that means we want some kind of trigger our own kind of formatting. So it's gonna actually be very small like this. I'm gonna have to some kind of go with like let's see what 30 is gonna give to us. We have 30. Okay, if I want to make it small, I'm gonna go ahead with 20. Let's see what 20 is gonna give to us. So we have this to be 20, and it's okay. We love it to be like this. So can you see it right now? So it's some kind of a little bit cool, and I love this chart because no matter how the label is long, it's not gonna some kind of distort the dashboard or the report and stuff like that. That is why I always love to use this compared to this one we have right here. When we have long labels, it should to go inside it, and I just love the positioning and stuff like that. So you can go ahead and choose to use this. Don't forget, it's a custom one we actually inserted right in here. You can insert yours as well. There are so many ones in the marketplace. You go ahead and actually sign up for Microsoft Power BI service and have access to a lot of custom bar charts, different types of charts, but all that. So go ahead and do that. So now let's just some kind of get to get this table in a very good shape. So what we can do for the first time, once you have it clicked on, you just have to go to where you have this particular format your visual is, and go to general and quickly come down to where we have this particular effects right then. I'm going to turn up the background for it. Okay, because we still have white background, you might not see the effect so much, but I just want you to some kind of go ahead and do that. And go back to visual right here and click on this particular grade. I'm gonna go right here. I'm gonna turn this one to white. I'm gonna make it white, and right here we have to change the weight number. So we change the weight number to 10. So that is what it is. So this is what you can do to have a very good table, when you have a table inside your report and all of that. So now we're gonna have to close this for now. I'm gonna scroll a little bit up. I'm gonna have this one shut down. We just have to go to the value and have it opened up, and let's say I'm gonna go with 21, something like this. That is okay. I'll scroll down a bit, and I have this alternative. I want to have this particular one in black, but I just want to have this text alternative in different color. might want to use something like this that is a bit different. Can you see that right now? This is how it appears. There's some kind of stand, some rows out from the order, right? That is exactly what you should do. So we are done from here. What we can do right now is to make sure we actually have it closed, and we go to the header and have the header opened. So we're gonna have the header, and let's put it on 18 and see what we have, right? Okay, so now we can scroll down a bit. So scroll down. As you can see, I'm gonna have it bold, but we have some of them, some of the text kind of disappeared right here. Don't worry, we're gonna take care of that. What we can do right now is to make sure we give color to the header. I'm gonna go down to background right here. I want to choose this for the header, and now quickly we just have to make sure we change the text to some kind of a color that will fit right on it. So let's go with white color for the text, and it some kind of pops out very well. Okay, that is beautiful. Next is for me to some kind of go ahead and some kind of go close this up, and we want to look for where we have the subtotal right in. Like here is it, we have the total. I'm going to turn it off. I don't want that to be right on it. So now I've taken that off. Now for this particular scroll bar to get from here, what we can do right now is we to go back to this particular part right here. And right now I'm going to take off total from this. All you just have to do is to double click and have it active. And I'm going to have to make sure I take off the total. And right now the first T should be uncapsulated, right? So we have this. Can you see what I'm talking about? It is beautiful. Yeah, this is what it is that you should have. So next is for you to some kind of insert a text box, just like this one right here. And inside the text box, we want to type something just like all customers' unique transactions and last purchase dates and this. Okay, just for you to explain what this particular table is all about. So we have to do this. And if I move it down right now, we have some, a background color around it. So we just have to go ahead and remove that. And the best way to do it is just to come to effect right here and just turn up the background. And now this is what we're going to have. Okay. So we can just move it a bit just to make sure it's kind of in the middle of this, part right here. And now, as you can see, we can just kind of like sort it from the largest to the lowest number. And if we do that, we can see this is what we see right here, but it's not going to be easy for it to some kind of, view who are those customers. So for that, we some kind of extracted those ones that should be retargeted, back to a company through art and stuff like that right on this. Very simple and easy. So now we almost come to the far end of this particular, customer retargeting right here. Okay, if I go to the finished one, so this is the previous one we've created. It looks exactly just like this. Can you see? If I just navigate through, you can see the changes right now. It's just a little bit in terms of color. So what is left for us to some kind of add up to the one we are creating right now is for which to some kind of add data bars, right? On our own new creation, right? So what can we do to do that? So we just have to know on transaction, we're going to add something up, and we just have to go and have it click done. So it's going to be active. So we can just go ahead and add conditional formatting right on it. And what we need to add is data bars. So click on data bars and let that actually pops up, and we can actually find a nice color is going to fit our dashboard. All right, now on data bars, what I want to add right now is just some kind of color just like this. I think I love this color, it's cool. I'm gonna go ahead and click on OK. Let's see how that goes. Now this is what it is that we have, right? And when we just some kind of sort it from the highest to the lowest, so it's what you're gonna have. And now we can add data bars to this as well, but the date we don't need to add any data bars on the date area. So it's very simple and easy. Anybody can do this. It's very simple. Just for the last this is last purchase, I'm gonna go right, and I want to add icons. You can add icons, you can add data bars, you can add font colors, you can add background colors, wherever it is. But I just feel like using data bars is cool for me, so let's go with that. And this time around, you might want to change on that color to actually use for data bars and all that. What if we go with this kind of color? Let's see how it's going to turn out. But I don't feel like I love this so much. I'm gonna go right and change it to something like this. You can come right here and change the way the color looks like. It's all your choice. Just make sure you play around with this and get the perfect color that is going to match the colors you've had on the dashboard before now. Don't just invent colors because colors are there for you to be used. That is not how it works. So once you're done, all you just have to do is to come right here and click on OK. And let's see what we have, right? Oh, still okay. Now, as you can see, this color matches this color and still, blend with this color. We don't have to put color riot right inside our project. And if we go to the previous one, we've actually, completed, we are having something just similar. Can you see it? I'm some kind of navigating through the two of them right now. We have exactly a replicant of what we had done before. All right. So what we've not added right now is just a date, or filter, just like this one, right? So when I add that filter, then when we filter through a particular year, right now, like for 2018, we want to see, and we have a lot of it, right? So now this is what it is that you need to know about this kind of creation. It's very simple and easy. So next we're going to be some kind of creating product insight, just like this kind of dashboard you have right now. And next is some kind of sales team right here. Sales team, we want to create something like order transaction. Our transaction, we're going to create something like that. We have a nice dashboard for that as well, a nice report, whatever it is. Okay, nice dashboard for it. Okay, next is for we do some kind of create another one called time, range analysis. What does that actually tells us? It analyzes the year, the quarter, the weekdays for us. So if I click on it right now, what you're gonna see is this as well. Let's see that. Okay, this is what we're going to see on a dark background, and when we use dark background, we have to be very careful with what we actually add on it, right? Like the kind of color we use on it for which some kind of pop out so seriously. And you can see this one right here in navigation that you can actually navigate through and get what you want. And right here you can see what we are seeing for the whole dashboard right now is just analysis of gross profit. If you want to see transaction analysis, once I have this one clicked right now, what I'm going to have is just for, transaction is what is currently selected. And if I actually go ahead and select something like, revenue right now, what am I going to have? I'm going to have this revenue is what is currently selected, and every single chart you have right here but the table will show you anything that has to do with revenue. So ladies and gentlemen, this is what you should know about creating dashboard or creating reports. So what do you want to know? So keep watching. We have more to come, right?